What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Out of the Basement. Today on the show, we are reviewing It 2017.
Hiya, Georgie.
Hiya, Georgie. I'm Nate, and I'm joined with Justin.
What's up, guys?
And we're going to be giving our thoughts on the brand new It movie. We're not going to delve into spoilers at all. We're going to go spoiler-free, but then we're going to talk about some spoilers when we really get into the movie.
We'll give you a huge warning.
Huge! But before we do
you
that,
don't want spoilers.
Justin, we just hit a milestone, brother.
Yes, we did.
400 subscribers. Thank you very much, everyone. So let's get into it, guys. Let's talk about It 2017. No spoilers. Justin, let me hear your thoughts. Just a brief, spoiler-free.
It was good. It was great. It was a great movie. However, I will say, I jumped on the hype train a little too hard.
I as well.
This time around. Just because the trailers were so well crafted and edited.
Agreed.
And it just got me so hyped for it, and I was just like, full on board hype train, and it comes back to bite you in the ass every time.
I feel the same way, and I want to make it abundantly clear to you guys. We thought this movie was great.
Oh, yeah, it is great.
It is 100% worth your time. It is worth your money. You should definitely see it in a
Better
theater.
than the 1990 3-hour and 10-minute television movie.
Because let's face facts here, guys. The 1990 movie, it's bad. There's no other way around it. It's bad.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, the movie is very good. Lots of great suspense throughout the movie. I thought that there was some good creepy imagery, some creepy moments. Nothing too scary. So if you're worried about this movie being absolutely terrifying, I would say you've got nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
Great cinematography.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent.
It was shot really well.
Cinematography.
Yeah. Directed really well.
Of course, Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise the Clown. Fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
I think it definitely lives up and might even surpass, in my humble opinion. I know this is going to sound like blasphemy. I think he might be better than Tim Curry.
Yeah, the only thing I didn't really like, which this wasn't his fault, was that we could use a lot more Pennywise dialogue in this movie. He's pretty quiet throughout this movie, which came as a shock.
Yeah, especially when you're so used to the 1990 version where it's like Tim Curry, monologue after monologue, like quotable moments throughout the entire movie.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
Which that alone aspect to that movie is awesome. Because
Agreed.
The 90s one, it's corny. It's not...
It's a made-for-TV movie.
Yeah. This movie is way better. But it was a fun movie overall. It was very fun.
Yeah. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're not going to waste your time dancing around spoilers here.
Oh, yeah.
You've seen the reviews. You've probably seen the movie at this point. So let's just jump into our likes and dislikes. We're gonna get spoilery. It's not going to be anything like massive, but you know.
Most of you already know what happens in the movie anyway.
Right. It's a readaptation.
Some creepy stuff happens to kids. The kids team up to fight Pennywise.
Exactly. So the structure of the story has not really changed, although there's some little minor differences. But let's start with our first like here, Justin, and that is the kids.
Yeah,
all of the kids. Great child actors. You got the kid from Stranger Things. I thought was awesome.
Which he's the Richie?
Yeah, he's Richie.
Yeah, Richie.
It's Richie.
And he's pretty much the comedic relief. Yeah. Well, he definitely is the comedic relief.
100%. But his jokes are good.
Yeah, they work.
And they never felt, at least to me personally, they never felt like overbearing or like cringy or anything like that. Because the dialogue for all of the kids I felt was very realistic, especially for someone like me. Like, I remember when I was little, I would always cuss, like, talk about, like, oh, I'm doing your mom.
Yeah, like, I'll never forget the first time as a child I just was like, shit. Mm-hmm. Like, first time everyone was gone out of the house and I was with my friend. And I was just like, shit. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I do connect with that. It's a very realistic interpretation of how kids do talk when you're not around. So if parents, you're watching this, just know that is how your child talks when you're not around.
And I appreciated it. I appreciated that they didn't sugarcoat how kids talk, because that's exactly how we're always cussing all the time when we were little, and like, and they do cuss a lot, and I could see probably some people probably think that that's kind of annoying.
Yeah.
But to me, it just felt that much more.
That's just how kids talk.
Realistic.
But unfortunately, that's pretty much why it's rated R.
Yeah.
It's just by the massive amount of cussing that's in the movie, or cursing.
Overall, there's not a whole lot of gore. There's not a whole lot of like violence. I get. Well, like, I don't know. Obviously, you can't show a bunch of kids getting murdered on screen.
Yeah, you can only show one.
Yeah, you can only show one. But the movie was just not as gory as I thought it was going to be. The book is obviously. I haven't read the full book. I want to say that right out. I'm only like 300 something pages in, so I'm not that deep in the book. But it's very violent. It's very gruesome. It's very gory, and we really only got one gory, violent scene,
which still shocked me that they would put that in there.
Yeah. So overall, could have used a little bit more gore, but yeah, let's talk about the Georgie scene just for a brief moment, since that is the beginning of the movie.
Oh yeah.
Amazing. We saw most of it in front of Annabelle Creation.
Yeah, we pretty much saw the whole dialogue. But there is a cut around the middle of the dialogue to show, like, was that the mom? Or
no, I don't think
just a random bystander.
Yeah, it was a random bystander
who would just walked out of the house and on the porch and saw Georgie, like, leaning down, talking to the sewer.
Yep.
So that dialogue was honestly amazing. I love how Pennywise changes his eyes to blue, and then they go, like, yellow demon eye.
Yep.
Once he gets a little crazy. But, like, I was shocked by when he tempts Georgie to get the boat and he reaches his hand in there and just, like, the xenomorph, like, jaws come out.
You see the monster teeth of Pennywise, and you straight up see Georgie get his arm bitten and ripped off.
Ripped off, and the arm flies back, or his body flies back, and he's, like, in the street, and you just straight up see Georgie without an arm, bleeding all over.
Yep.
He's, like, crying, screaming in agonizing pain. And then one of the spookiest shots of the whole movie is this, like, overview shot, and then the hand slowly comes out of the sewer and takes him back, and just takes him, and he's, like, calling for Bill or whatever.
Yep.
And the whole crowd just went silent after that. And I was, like, honestly shocked.
That was intense, and I mean, it takes guts to show that kind of scene. I'm sure that's also part of the reason why it got hit with an R rating.
Oh, for sure. Which, I mean, hats off to the people who made the film for just having the balls to do that. I mean, obviously it's how it happened in the books as well, but just showing that, like, there's not a lot of movies I can think of that straight up show child death on screen.
And just violence towards children in general.
Unfortunately, that ended up being my favorite scene of the whole movie.
Yeah.
And it sucks because I already saw the majority of that scene when we saw Annabelle Creation, and having the best scene, for me at least, at the very beginning of the movie isn't the best idea. Which you can argue that, oh, that wasn't mine. But since it's mine, it just sucks to have the opening scene as my favorite scene, because then nothing else that comes after it will top it.
Yeah.
And nothing did for me.
So let's talk a little bit about Pennywise. Bill Skarsgård absolutely knocked it out of the park. I loved the way he would, like, change his voice. Like, in the Georgie scene, he was kind of friendly sounding, but, like, it sounded off.
Yeah.
You know?
It was still sinister. And I like how one eye goes one way and one eye goes the other way.
Yeah, it makes him look off. Like, you're just like, something's not right about this clown, and I don't know what it is. And I also liked that he's like drooling a lot throughout the movie.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed that, but he's just like kind of always drooling. But overall, a great performance. I thought the scenes that he did have dialogue in were awesome.
Yeah. Which unfortunately, there are only like 2 scenes that had like a lot of dialogue from him. The Georgie scene and then the first house scene. Yeah. He was like, oh, I'm not real enough for you.
Yeah.
So, Could use some more dialogue from Pennywise, just because he was doing an awesome job doing it, so why not throw more in there?
Yeah, agreed. Especially, like we said earlier, when you compare it to the Tim Curry role, where Tim Curry was kind of always talking.
Yeah.
And in this, you know, he's got a couple scenes, and then most of the time, Pennywise is really used as like, "Boo! I'm a scary clown guy coming at you," like, which I felt was a little weird. The movie did have a lot of jump scares, which I wasn't expecting. But at this point, 2017 modern horror,
if it doesn't have jump scares, just look at the It Comes at Night audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. That's what happens when a horror movie doesn't have boo.
Yep. So there was a lot of jump scares, and Pennywise was used mostly for those jump scares to kind of just be like, "Rawr!" And that's pretty much all he ended up doing for the most part, was just screaming at them and not actually like speaking to them, taunting them.
Yeah. It was a fun movie overall.
Yeah, of course.
It was awesome.
So another thing that we really enjoyed was that, at least to me, in the 1990 movie, like, Pennywise's psychic abilities weren't really conveyed that well to the audience. Like, obviously, yes, the psychic abilities are in the 1990 movie, but I feel like this movie really sort of like let you know, I guess. And like the scenes where Pennywise is actually playing on the children's different fears, I thought were really awesome.
Yeah, and he actually made like Georgie smell the circus, the peanuts, the cotton candy, and made him smell popcorn.
Right. Yeah, because that's not even mentioned in the 1990 version. So I really appreciated that they sort of let you know that he had some sort of psychic abilities.
And honestly, I really like the chemistry between all the cast members.
Agreed.
Like all of their bonding scenes where they all meet up and become friends. Well, some of them were already friends, but you know, people get added into the loser squad.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. Not everyone was sort of the same kid. They all had different personalities, which they should. But I feel like a lot of times in movies, when you get a big group of characters together, they all sort of end up being the exact same. And even towards, like, you know, the end of the movie and sort of through most of the movie, Stan is like, you know, he's like, I don't want to do this. Like, I'm done. I just want to go home. Which will lead into something that happens in part 2. But if you've seen the movie / read the book, you know what happens to him. But I thought that was really nice that not all of them were like, yeah, we got to defeat Pennywise. Yeah. Like, they were like, nah, let's go home. I really enjoyed that. So, let's get into some dislikes. Justin, the CGI, not good.
Yeah.
Not good. There was a few scenes where I really thought it was okay, but for the most part, overall, not a fan.
Yeah, especially, like, why couldn't it just be Pennywise? Why couldn't it just be him in the makeup throughout the entire thing? I mean, I understand he does, like, some crazy stuff, like crawling on walls or whatever, but, like, the CG face, like, they did it a little too much.
There was some really strange parts where, for almost, it seemed like no reason at all, his face was CG. Just, like, something was off in a certain amount of scenes.
Yeah.
Where you're just kind of like, eh. And the scene where he jumps out of the projector,
and he just turns into a giant
Pennywise with his gnashing teeth. Like, I thought that was pretty corny, honestly.
Yeah, and like his lair was a little underwhelming. It was just a giant CG pile of trash.
Yeah, with a bunch
and then a bunch of bodies were floating around. They all float.
Yeah,
I didn't know that's what they actually meant. I thought that just dead bodies float.
Yeah, and like I said, haven't read the full book, so I don't know.
True.
We do not know. We just want to say that before you're typing your comment. We do not know for a fact if that is how the scene is described and how accurate it is. But to us personally,
still a little silly.
We thought it was kind of stupid.
Yeah.
There's also like this weird sort of camera effect that was almost like motion tracking on Pennywise for a lot of scenes. Like, it would like focus on his face, and then the rest of the scene would kind of be like moving around him, and I just hated the way it looked.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
It was like they attached like a motion tracking effect to his head, and then the rest of the scene just played out, so it looked really odd. Obviously, it was 100% intentional. It just didn't work for me. But I know that you said that you didn't really mind it all too much.
Yeah, I didn't mind it. I didn't think it was that bad.
It happens again, too, sort of towards the end of the movie when Bill is running after Beverly. It happens, and it's just like this weird... It's almost like the frame rate slows down.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of like, that's a really weird stylistic choice. Yeah. But other than that, another dislike that we had was Bill's character, for the most part, is good throughout the whole movie. However, there's one scene in particular where right before they go into the sewer to start the final battle... Bill's like, we got to stick together. That's the only way we can defeat him. Like, that's the only way we were able to hurt him in the house.
Yeah, and then all these are, like, hallucinations. Everything is fake. It's not real.
And he reassures Richie in the house scene, because Richie pulls down a missing poster of himself, and he's, like, freaking out. And Bill's like, no, this is all fake. This is all fake. Like, it's not real. And then we're in the sewer, and one of the kids is attacked. And then Bill looks up, and he sees Georgie standing there, and just goes and runs and chases after Georgie.
Yeah, completely abandons the group.
Yeah, runs away by himself towards Georgie.
Which goes against everything he was saying, which I get it, because it's Georgie.
Right.
And he's emotionally attached to his little brother. But still, like, he knew...
Yeah, like... And obviously throughout the whole movie, Bill's holding out hope that Georgie is still alive, which I guess you could say is why he chased after him. But, I mean, come on. That just felt really odd to me.
Yeah.
So...
And one recurring thing that I personally didn't like, I don't know if you minded as much, but I feel like everyone's sticking in a group when they're in a scary situation, such as when they go in the house for the first and the second time. And then, like... One character will just hear something and just walk away from the group.
Yeah.
And not be terrified out of their minds sticking with their buddies, which is how it really would be. But that happened, like in that house scene, I think it happened 3 times, just in that one sequence.
Well, yeah, because it happens to Eddie, and then it happens to Richie.
Yeah.
And then Bill's left by himself in the room.
Yeah. So it's like everyone just gets separated, and like one person will walk away, and then the door just shuts, and they can't get the door open.
Yep.
It's that kind of repetitiveness that just bothers me a lot.
There's also, I mean, obviously you could say that we're like straight up nitpicking, but like,
true.
Pennywise had so many opportunities to just kill them, and he just let them all live a lot of the time. Like, I felt that way. I feel that way about the 1990 movie where Pennywise and
you'll probably feel that way about the book too.
Yeah, like Pennywise is just like antagonizing them for no reason when he's had plenty of opportunities to just straight up murder them.
Yeah, because if he's feeding on their fear, they were totally freaking out. Like, who was it? The guy who needs an inhaler. I'm bad with the names.
That's sorry.
Eddie. When he was down there, when he fell on the table and broke his arm.
Yeah.
And he was just like, Pennywise was just like right there.
Yeah. Like literally holding him, about to kill him, and then for some reason, Pennywise gets distracted by a noise that's being made from Bill and Richie, and is like, "Oh, I'm just gonna go fuck with them now because even though I had this prime target right here that I could easily kill, but the storyline has to happen, so I'm just gonna go away now."
Now we're really nitpicking.
Yeah. And feel free to comment. We're just nitpicking, but this is just how we feel, guys.
We're reviewers, and we're reviewing.
We're reviewing the movie. So, another thing that I felt like really didn't work was just it's a really small scene, but the bully motivation for why the bullies are antagonizing Ben at the beginning of the movie. The scene where they pull out the knife and they cut his stomach. In the book, it's because Ben wouldn't let the bully cheat. I can't think of the bully's name right now. I'm having a Justin moment.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't let him cheat, so then he had to flunk, the grade, and then his dad was gonna like beat him because he flunked, which makes sense. You'd be pretty pissed if you were a kid and you were in that situation, and then another kid wouldn't let you copy. So it made sense that he wanted to be like so violent towards Ben. But in this movie, it's just because he's the new kid.
Hey, new kid.
Yeah, that felt so like, oh, hey, new kid, I'm just gonna fucking stab you.
Who does that?
Like, that just was super unrealistic. And it's a minor scene, but, you know, whatever. Oh, and that reminds me, with the bully, so, like we were saying earlier with Georgie, where that's really the only scene of, like, gore or anything like that, or, like, actual, like, violence, murder, if you will.
Yeah.
They had the perfect opportunity. They could have shown the murder of the one bully that goes into the storm drain by himself. But instead, you just get a jump scare and a cutaway. And I was just like, come on, this movie is rated R. Give me some violence. And the kid, he's old enough. Like, you could have easily shown him getting, like, torn apart or something. I don't know. I just felt like, for it being a rated R movie, they certainly didn't bring the violence, the murder, the gore. They sort of just had a ton of foul language, which was obviously what nailed them the R rating. Because I really think if it wasn't for that, this movie easily could have been PG-13.
Even with the Georgie scene?
Yeah, you could have just put a little less blood in there, and I think it would have been fine.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think this movie could have easily been rated PG-13. And really sort of our final dislike to bring this to a close is the movie just wasn't as scary as we wanted it to be.
Yeah.
The trailers, everything that we had saw beforehand made this movie look absolutely terrifying. And certainly, we saw it in a packed theater. There was definitely people in the theater that were fucking freaking out, for sure. But to me and Justin, like, I don't know, I just felt like there was something left to be desired with the movie in general.
Jump scares, you know, they can be fun. But at the end of the day, they're rather cheap.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I don't want to say it relied too much on jump scares instead of creating creepy imagery and settings, which there was.
Yeah.
But it wasn't to the degree that I would want from something like this. Like, there wasn't, like, scary imagery, like, from The Conjuring. Like, there was no the door shadow and she sees something behind the door. Like, there's no moment like that where I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
And, like, I even thought Annabelle Creation, which came out a few weeks ago, like a month ago, I thought that was scarier.
And I'd agree with you.
I thought that was a more scary movie.
I feel like the level of scariness in It 2017, I would equate to, like, an amusement park, like a haunted house amusement park.
Yeah.
Like, it's scary. You're definitely scared a little bit while you're watching it, and you're like, ooh, this is creepy.
Yeah.
But you're not like, holy shit, I'm about to piss myself. Which I really did think that this movie was going to be scary.
I know. I thought it was going to be...
It's creepy.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it just wasn't. And it kind of sounds like we're hating on it. And it sounds like we're disappointed, but that's not what it was, because it's a well-made film, and I thoroughly enjoyed watching it. It's just... jumping on the hype train, I was like, hell yeah, this is going to be super scary, terrifying imagery.
Yep.
It just kind of felt... I'm so conflicted about it now, because, like, the novel is for adults. The movie's obviously for adults, rated R. And it just seems like this would be terrifying to that degree that I want to, like, my nephew, who's, like, 5.
Yeah.
It seems like it's almost kind of a movie for a young teen.
Yeah. And that kind of goes back to the, like, PG-13 almost.
Which
like,
they are kids, though, in the story.
Yeah.
So it's so, like, it's such a gray area that I'm trying to explain right now.
I hear what you're saying.
I just wasn't scared.
Yeah. We wanted to be scared. We just weren't. So, I mean, all in all, it's a very well-made movie. Great cinematography. Pennywise was awesome for the most part. The cast, all the kids were absolutely awesome. Creighton Duke was in the movie. We totally forgot to mention that. Creighton Duke making his guest appearance from Jason Goes to Hell. He plays Mike's dad, or Mike's stepdad, I guess, for a scene.
Guardian.
Yeah, for a scene or two. I thought that was really cool. I was like, holy fuck, it's Great Duke.
I know.
He could have fought Pennywise.
He's the bounty hunter, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
He would have got the bounty on Pennywise.
On Pennywise. When I see Pennywise,
he would have used the Necronomicon.
I picture a little girl in a pink dress sticking a hot dog through a donut. Love Jason Goes to Hell.
Friday the 13th, part 9.
So yeah, we thought the Georgie scene was great. We think the movie is fun overall, but we thought at the end of the day the CGI was lackluster. Some of the character motivations were a little conflicting, and it just wasn't as scary as we wanted it to be. But if we had to slap a score on it,
ooh,
Justin J. Ricker.
Is this out of 10 or 5?
We're doing out of 10. Out of the Basement always is out of 10.
Shit.
Hit me with it.
You want to go first, buddy?
Sure. I've made up my mind about this movie. I'm a little less conflicted than Justin is. I'd give this movie an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I was going to say 7.5.
Yeah. I think it is, again, it's a great movie, just has some minor issues.
Not a 9.5?
Yeah. Huh? Not a masterpiece, bro? Which is a good thing I didn't make that thumbnail.
Don't lie to yourself.
So let us know what you thought of It 2017 in the comments down below.
Oh,
if you enjoyed our review, go ahead and hit that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe if you're new to the channel. Thank you to all of our subscribers for the 400 subs.
We're at 400. Now let's hit 400 thou.
Or 402.
I'd be satisfied.
Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'm Nate, and I've been joined with Justin.
Later, guys.
You've been watching Out of the Basement, and we will see you next time.
Penis. Hey, penis.
Hey, Peter. I got Cusco's poison.
Poison to kill Cusco.
Hiya, Georgie.
Do you want it back?
Here.
It's almost like, where is Harvey Dent?
Dent.
Now, where is Georgie? I only have one question. Where is Georgie's boat? Take it.
The bully tried to shoot a cat.